Hello everyone and welcome to episode 41 of our game dev tutorials. Before I get started, if you are new to the series, if you go back one to episode 40, you can get the whole solution. And then you'll be ready to jump right into this one with us. Today we're going to be going over applying options, so it kind of finishes up our options menu, but also we're going to go over doing background music. So obviously that's one of our three options, and so we are going to get the background music running. I'm going to provide you with the sound from Empire Architect, which is my most recent current game that's out. I mean, I have a new one coming out in, well, a little over a month and a week. March 22nd for Guilds of Delinar. Anyway, please don't use this file for anything other than testing. I didn't want to provide you with something that I got from somewhere else. I own this piece of music. I am happy for you guys to use it to test with, but I would really prefer you guys not to use this. In fact, I'm asking you, do not use this in a product that you release to the public in any way, whether it's free or not. Please just, out of respect, please don't do that to me. But I want you guys to have something to test with, so I am giving you the file. Okay, so if you're building your own files, they all need to be 16-bit waves for them to work with Monogame flawlessly. I know that there's a way to do MP3s, but I've never gotten into it because it's not important to me. Wave files are better anyway, as they're uncompressed. So 16-bit waves. Make sure you do that. We're going to add a sound control. Then we're going to edit our options menu. We are going to edit the arrow selector just to get the current option. It's very minor. And then we're going to connect it all up and we're going to test it. So, yeah. Just to remind you guys, if you like these videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. We are putting out one of these once a week. And we also have the Game Dev Talks that we're now doing on Tuesdays. So please do that. And if you haven't rung the bell to get those notifications for when the new videos come out, please consider that. Discord, guys, I'm there. You guys ask questions, I answer them. Yeah, jump over to Discord. It's nice to chat with you guys. I've seen you guys' work. You guys have been showing me. I think it's awesome. I'm super proud to be a part of you guys' journey, which is awesome. So, and then lastly, if this is helping you in any professional manner, please consider Patreon. It really will help out the channel a lot. But yeah. All right, so let's start by adding our audio file. So here it is. It's going to go right there, and then this is the file. You'll have this down in your description. Just make sure you do content, copy if newer, and if you can see, it even says, Roman build music, loop. I own this music. I had it custom made for the game. I love this piece of music. If you guys don't like it, that's fine. But it will help you test your program, and then you'll know when you have a working sound system, as opposed to maybe a file that just doesn't run right. Because some files just don't run. Like they don't compile wrong. They don't throw any sharp DX errors. You'll get sharp DX errors if you do a 32-bit wave file compile. It'll compile fine, but then it'll break in your program. But sometimes you get a file and it just doesn't run. I've come across it. I think that was back in the XNA days. I don't know if that's fixed in Monogame or not, but it has happened to me. So this is a working file, so feel free to test with it. Alright, so we've added that file. The next thing we're going to do is, sorry, I've been sick, so I'm pretty congested, but I want to get this out to you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the sound control, which is in here. It will go in output, So let's add it. New item. We're going to call it sound control. Sound control. Okay. Let me grab our normal stuff. And we put it in there, and we get rid of our extra namespace stuff, and we put in public. Okay. Alright, so sound control. I am just going to do very basic. In fact, it's going to be similar to how I originally did sound parts. I do plan either with the next video or the one after that, one of the two, to go through sound effects, and then I will spend most of that time expanding on sound control. So this is basic. This is to give you the idea of how to go about it, and then you guys can kind of get to doing sound, but then eventually we will control sounds specifically with the sound control. Alright, so in a sound you have three major parts you gotta have. Now there will be more later, but these are the three you have to have. The first is a float for volume. Sorry. Public float volume. And then public sound effect. Sound. And then public sound effect instance. Okay. So those are the three parts you need to have control of your sound. You actually could just do it with just this if you wanted to. Don't recommend it. Sound effect instance allows you to do things like change the sound volume. It allows you to do things like pause it, and so on and so forth. So this is a very important thing to have. Sorry, I have to get some Jack and Coke medicine. But so public sound control. Let's get our constructor going on. Right now, all we're going to be looking for here is a string for the path of the music file. So string music path, and then in our constructor we're going to say if music path not equal blank. So if you pass in blank, it just doesn't do anything, right? And then we'll add a function for that in a second. It goes there. Actually, we'll just do that right now. Why not? So public virtual void, and this will be change music. And in here, what we're going to do is we are going to load in the file. We are going to set volume to a certain level. This is something you'll have to manually adjust unless you have all of your sound equalized. If all of your sound is from random places like free music or free sounds or whatever, they're not going to be, adjusted to all be the same. So you may have to, with individual sounds, set the base volume for it to try to get them to match up the best as possible. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to set the sound, the instance, the volume. Then we are going to check how loud our system has the volume set at. And then we are going to set that volume properly and play it. Okay, so let's go through that slowly. Okay, so first of all, sound, which is, this guy here. Also, sound equals null. And instance equals null. Let's do that. So sound equals globals.content.load, and this is a sound effect. Okay, and then in here we're gonna have we need string music path, and then we're gonna put music path in there. Okay, so we did that. Instance equals sound dot create instance. So basically we've loaded this in, and then inside here can create a specific instance of it, and we're going to put that in here. Again, you don't actually have this, and I'll show you right now. Watch. So you can say sound dot play, right? But you'll have no control over the sound. Once you do that, it's gone. You have no way to stop it, no way to do anything with it. It's just going. So I don't recommend that. Can you do it? You can. You absolutely can. It's much simpler. It's a one-liner, but I don't find it to be a good idea. Okay, so most of my sounds ends up pretty loud. So I'm going to set the base volume to this to be basically 1/4 of the total sound of it, the total possible volume. This can't go over 1 and it can't go below 0. You will get error codes if that happens, so remember that. I'm going to skip the middle part, which is setting extra volume pieces, but we'll get to those in a minute. We're just not ready for that yet. So instance.volume equals volume. Instance. This is background music, so we're going to set is looped equals true. And then instance.play. Okay, so this will run our sound, right? So we're changing the music. We're doing that right here. And we are putting that into it. And just like that, we have a sound that's going to loop. Okay, that's awesome, right? At least I think it is. Okay, we're going to have one other thing that we want to be able to do. But we'll come back and do it later because it's actually going to go and have an effect here. So, okay, so this is a sound control. It's a structure that we are going to be adding to in order to handle our sounds. Much like you have your keyboard input and your mouse input, this is your sound output. Okay? Alright, so let's take a look at where we're at. So we added this, we added the sound control. We need to edit the options for a few new features. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're gonna do. Down here in our options menu, we need a pass object added for updating values. So let's go ahead and do that. So pass object, and this is going to be update options, or maybe a better one would be apply options. So apply options, and then in here we're going to have to pass this in. So pass effect apply options. Okay, and then we need to set it. So apply options equals capital apply options. Okay, so we've got that. Now, when we save our options is when we are going to want to apply them. So if we don't save them, we don't apply them. So again, going back to if you took my challenge two tutorials ago and you set up a proper dual state, you know, like the state that you're editing and state that's saved and actually running on your game, save options won't run every time you exit. So we don't want to do this on exit. We want to do it when we save. So that'll have the same functionality. So put it here. That obviously should give us an error, right? So we need to have in main a function that will apply these options. So I guess we should probably call that apply options again. So let's come right under update right here. Public virtual void apply options ptls, and then we will come back to this. Boy, if I could spell, that'd be good. Okay, so we'll come back to this, but we need to pass this in to here so that they're connected, right? Broken. Huh. Pass effect. I put something in wrong. Let's look. What did I write? Pass effect pass. That was just dumb. Pass object. All better, right? Let's build it. Make sure it goes through. It did. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm not feeling real great. Not that I don't make mistakes when I'm feeling great, because I do. But things are a little cloudy, so I'm doing my best to make sure that I get this out for you guys, though. Okay. So we have that. We also want to be able to pull these options out. So element O. So no, it's a get. Get is what we're going to call this thing. So if we look here, we're going to use get current options. So public virtual form option, get current option. We're going to string name. Okay. And then in here we're going to say for, let's just complete this so it doesn't complain at me the whole time. Return null will be if it doesn't find what we're looking for. So for int I equals 0, I less than, right now we just have arrow selectors dot count I plus plus, and then we'll have if arrow selectors I dot title equals name. Then we're going to return, and this is where we're not going to have something, so I'm going to leave this broken on purpose. We're going to go in here, go to definition, we're going to say get current option. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted here, go to definition, G, so we go to the right spot, we go here, we say public virtual form option get current option, and then this one is simple, it's just return, whoops, return options selected. And you can error check this and stuff. That's why I'm going to put it in its own function. There's lots of things that could go into this. Arrow selectors are quite simple, and so they require a lot less error checking. So as long as you're sure that something is selected, you're fine here. But I want to keep having structures that eventually are going to be overridden from a base class, which we haven't started yet. So I'm doing it this way because I do plan on having a base class for form controls, and then also a form function, and so that's the eventual structure. So I want to make sure that we're doing things that that will align with that well when we get there. Alright, so we have this. Now we come back into here and we can say, where's our broken thing? There we go. We can say arrow selector I dot get current option. Done. So that returns that. We're going to need this right now. So this is how we can get something out of our options file. Okay? Easily. So we come into here and we say, alright, well, we want to know not just what our max volume is. We want to know, and we could even call this max volume, but or base volume or all kinds of things. So we want to know what our actual volume should be based on what our options says it should be. So what we're going to do here is we are going to get that information, convert it the way we want it, and apply it. Okay? So how do we do that? First, we're going to make a function called adjust volume. So public virtual void adjust volume, and then we're going to pass in that a %, so float percent, and then here we're going to say instance, and we actually should say if instance not equal null, then instance dot volume, VOL, volume equals percent times volume. So essentially, percent of the volume that our options tell us to have, or some other percent that you're passing in, times the base volume. That gives us the actual volume. So let's get that value here. So we need to get the form option. Form option music volume equals globals dot option menu dot get. Oh, that's wrong. This is get option value, not current option. That doesn't even make sense. Why would I write that? Let me double check my prompt. Now that I know that I've done the wrong thing, I want to make sure they line up. Yeah, it's get option value. Get current option doesn't even make sense. Get option value. Get current value is supposed to be like in here, right? Yeah, that's anyway. I confused the two. I apologize. So let's get that. Let's go over to our form control here. Let's put it in. So which one do we want? We want music volume. If you're confused about where I got that value from, right there. Okay? So we're getting that. Good. Now we need to test for the null, but we also need to set a new float for music volume percent equals 1.0f. So basically, standard wise, give it max volume. That if you can't find the option because the option doesn't exist or whatever, full volume. So if music volume not equal null, meaning we can find it in the options, then we're going to say music volume percent equals float convert to decimal. You can do double here, but you may lose some very far down values. Decimal has double the precision, so it's just a little bit better. This is slightly slower than to double, so if you're ever having trouble and you need to get something to run more efficiently, or you're doing this millions of times in a frame, it might be important to use double. But if not, decimal is more accurate. Music volume dot value, and then okay, because remember this is a form option which has a value and a name, right? And then globals dot culture, and then divided by 30 because that's our max value, and we just know that. This could probably be in global somewhere what your max volume is, but we don't have that, so we're doing that. And then here we have music volume percent. There we go. Sorry, a little bit tired. And then if you notice, this is very much what this is. So if we just say adjust volume, music volume percent, all of a sudden we have that dealt with. Okay, so this is all we're going to do in the sound control for today. This will just get this running on start, and then it'll adjust its volume when ready. But it doesn't. We don't yet do this when we need to. So remember, in main we created this wonderful function to apply our settings. Essentially, where did we put it? Here we go. Apply options. So here we want to do what we did here with this piece here, but we want to do it when we're applying the options. So we want to get the music volume, we want to get that, we want to deal with this, we want to make sure it's not null, we want to get all this stuff. So exactly the same code here. The difference is this is globals. Oh, we haven't set that up. Let's do that. In your globals, right next to your mouse and keyboard, public static sound control, and then we need to create it. You need to create it below options menu because it wants to have information from options menu. So globals dot sound control equals new sound control. And then we need to get our file. So it is just audio, and then the name of this thing. And I'm not going to type that, so copy paste it. Okay, good. We've done that. Now down here we need to say globals dot sound control dot, and that'll adjust that. And this should work. So let's give it a tester. Oh, oh, we have a accidental breakpoint. So you can hear the sound playing, right? Let's go into options. Let's crank that up. Now this should change. And it just got louder, right? Let's go in here, crank it way down, almost non-existent. You can barely hear it, right? And that's what we wanted. This is the whole goal of what we did for this episode, was to get this to work. Okay? So as you apply your options, let me get out of the game playing. As you apply your options here in main, where you have access to everything in your game, you want to apply those options throughout. So yeah, that's it, guys. And I just want to remind you again, guys, if you like the video, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you have subscribed and you haven't hit the notification bell, please do. If you have questions or just want to show me your work, which I mean I would love to see it. I really, really do enjoy it. Hit me up on Discord. And then, of course, they're supporting the channel through Patreon, or just pick up the games that I have already put out. If you want something for your money, great. I'm all for it. But guys, I'm just happy to be here for you guys. I'm happy to be a part of your journey, and I'm happy to continue making these things. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys. I will see you guys next time. You guys have a great week.